Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel. We are back for another week of preseason, this time going against the Detroit Lions for 2 joint practices. Listen, we talked about how bad that Bears week was, how many things we needed to improve on. So to add more fuel to the fire heading into these joint practices, you had a player from the Lions, some scrub, call out the Miami Dolphins, saying that they're not ready to practice against us, which was just crazy. So if there was any motivation needed heading into day one, we're going to talk about both here, both days. It was that. So I'm going to touch on briefly about day one of joint practices, and then I'm going to talk about what happened in day two, which was today. So obviously, if you guys don't know, the Dolphins got pretty much punched in the mouth on day one, an absolute no-show for the offense. It was ridiculous. It was embarrassing to read, and just not how you want your team to respond after a bad week against Chicago. And then after somebody literally calling you out, on top of our own fan base, even calling out the Dolphins, saying, we want to see more physicality. We want to see this team bounce back. Complete no-show. Now, it's important to note, there was no Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle only worked very minimally, which was in the red zone drills. No Jalen Phillips. Obviously, Austin Jackson is gone. Alec Ingold also not there. Ashton Davis, who we know, Mohamed Kamara, and the list goes on, weren't in participation. But still, even with that, you see there's plenty of people that are on the fence saying, hey, it's just preseason. Hey, we dominated the Eagles, and then the Eagles were good. Listen, you hear it all in social media. But at the end of the day, I expected this Dolphins team to come out and match physicality and play with pride. I don't want a team to go dominating all over you, kicking the ball, punting the ball, celebrating. It's just inexcusable. Like, I want to get out of that. And Amon-Ra St. Brown absolutely dominated our defense. Jared Goff went crazy, and I just expected more of a response. All right. Chop Robinson also went down with an injury, who left in a cart, but then he reported, just similar to Jalen Phillips, said he was okay to relax. And that definitely put some ease into my heart. I will say Kenneth Grant, Zach Sealer, Tyrell Dotson, and Jordan Brooks, they did make plays in day one, and they didn't duck any smoke, which is definitely good to see. So it wasn't a complete no-show all across the board, but more so the offense. I mean, getting outmatched was very, very disappointing, and it was very disappointing. But that leads to day two, which took place today. This right here, it was circled on my calendar. How will the Dolphins respond, not only to what has happened last week and all the smack talking, but after, the rumblings got louder, especially all over the Dolphins fan base. What is going on with the Dolphins? Expectations started to temper in some folks. How will the Dolphins respond? How will Tua respond? Right? How will this offense respond to this? Now, heading into day two, no Devon Achane, no Tyreek Hill, no Zach Sealer this time, and still no Jalen Phillips. And obviously the other guys who remain out, who were out before, also remained out. But you know what? Tua absolutely responded. And I thought that was amazing to read up on. The fact that Tua was ready for the challenge, that Tua bounced back. He took it hard on himself with the media the day before. And I absolutely loved it. Jalen Waddle was back on his side. He returns. He has multiple touchdowns. And Tua was just picking this defense apart. He pretty much had his way the entire time, which is awesome to see. It starts with Tua, right? This offense starts with Tua. Malik Washington got involved. You heard his name. D. Eskridge got involved for the offense. He made an unbelievable catch, mossed somebody for a touchdown, which was awesome to see. Zach Wilson also had a good bounce back. And these are the things that Dolphin fans wanted to read all along. All right. It's not about just playing good, right? All right. We know that. It's about matching physicality, right? It's about responding to criticism. It's about getting back up after you get knocked down the day before. That's what we want to see. We want to see this team fight. We want to see this team put up a challenge. We don't want to see this team just get smoked, right? I mean, that's how I felt even back with our battles against the Buffalo Bills over the last couple seasons. Yo, don't go out there and get killed. Put up a fight. Show some pride. And it's a respectable loss if we were to lose that. Obviously, you want to win against Buffalo, but just be respectable. Hell, when we were in the playoffs against the Bills, we almost won that game when we had Skylar Thompson. But what did we see in that team? We saw some fight. And we all appreciated that. It just feels different when you put up a fight. Listen, I'm very proud of the Dolphins offense. Very proud of Tua in particular, man, because it starts with him having no Achane, all right? Having no Tyreek Hill and responding the way you responded with, they're coming in cocky to this practice, the Detroit Lions. But you're able to respond without Tyreek, without Achane. That shows me a lot. Shows me a lot of growth into his game. Shows me a lot of just the overall will that you want to see, that determination to overcome this obstacle. And I was very, very pleased. Now, the Dolphins defense wasn't as sharp as the offense, okay? But they still got some good work in. Minkah Fitzpatrick picking up a sack, okay? And also, iffy at the end with a pass breakup to end practice. I thought that was big time. You want to end practice on a good note? They ended on a good note. They didn't get scored on with their final possession on defense. That's very good. That's something that you could take with you going forward on top of the way that the offense played. Plenty of good signs. All right. They did give up, some explosive plays to Jamison Williams, not only in day one, but in day two. Apparently he connected for a deep touchdown, and he has been absolutely balling. And so has Jared Goff, which is pretty damn impressive, to be honest with you. Jared Goff is a guy who, you've seen the flashes of what he could be. You've seen the inconsistency. You've seen when he's played bad, right? He's a little bit of an inconsistent quarterback, but he's got some stuff. And he put up 2 pretty good joint practices. So the Lions are no pushover, all right? Definitely respect the Lions. But what I wanted to see ultimately was the Dolphins respond, and I think they did. And I still give credit to that Dolphins defense. Even though they didn't play as sharp as the offense did, you're playing without Jalen Phillips and you're playing without Zach Sealer, where that's your most important part of your defense, that front line. We're talking about Kenneth Grant, Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Zach Sealer. You're pretty much without your 2 most important pieces, 2 your best players on that front. Obviously, with all the rest of the deficiencies you have at the cornerback position, it's going to be tough to have a, pretty solid practice against a freaking high-powered offense that the Lions have. You're talking Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, J-Mo, St. Brown, Jared Goff, these teams that just won 14, 15 games the season before? You're going to give some stuff up. So, and mind you, the defense I've been very pleased with the way the defense has competed throughout the entire training camp. I wanted to see the offense respond, and that's what I got. Patrick Paul, also some good reps against the Detroit Lions. Love to see that. Going up against Aiden Hutchinson, stood him up for a little bit, and you're going toe-to-toe with a pass rusher like that. It's only going to make him better. Love to see that. And then apparently he had a little altercation going on, a little bit of a fight also to put the cherry on top. I love that. Show some fight. Show that you care. Show that you bounce back. Don't let up. And that's exactly what the Dolphins showed. I wanted to match physicality, have a bounce back attitude, and that is what the Dolphins showed. I think Dolphin fans should be pleased with the way day 2 went. All right. Obviously, a lot of work to be done, right? You got the preseason game. We'll see who plays, who doesn't play. And obviously, the result doesn't matter whether it's win or loss. We'll see if we can improve some things. And then you got a joint practice next week against the Jaguars. Don't know how that preseason game is going to go, but we still got a couple weeks. And I think with these joint practices, I think the Dolphins coaches have a lot of things to really focus on, a lot of things to get better at. All right. You saw what the team gave up a lot. You've seen holes that they need to improve. You see the depth get questioned on this Miami Dolphins team. You see the physicality, what you need to improve in that area. You see Malik Washington being able to step into wide receiver 3 potentially. You see what you have in D. Eskridge. I think this has been a solid training camp thus far, and I'm just so damn pleased that the Dolphins did what we expected, not what we expected, what we wanted them to do, which was match the physicality. Let's see how it goes with the preseason game. I will be here on my channel breaking it down, giving you guys a recap of that. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up button to support the channel as well. And also more coverage of joint practices and training camp coming up next week as well. So keep it locked in here, and I'll see you guys here next time. Peace.